Evening and welcome to the January 9th Palmer Town Council meeting. Would everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here we go.
First item on the agenda is visitors' comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak on a non-agenda item? Come on up.
Hi, I'm Ben Hood, the chairman of the Palmer Rail Steering Committee, which is appointed by the town council, and Jessica, Mark, and Carl are also members of the Rail Steering Committee. Carl is our vice chairman. I have some printed comments, so I'd like to pass those out.
Thank you, sir.
Last May, our committee recommended that the town move forward as soon as possible with a passenger rail station feasibility and site analysis study. Town planner and economic development director Linda LeDuc, who is also a member of the Rail Steering Committee, is presently developing an RFP for this site analysis study. The study is essential to qualify the town for the estimated $15 million in state and federal funding necessary to site and build a modern level boarding platform that is separated from the main freight lines in the vicinity of the Diamond Junction and Depot Village. The benefits of this investment were quantified in last year's Metro Hartford Springfield economic benefits study. There's a longer title. Palmer's share, as estimated by that study, is 650,000 square feet of additional commercial square footage in town, 1,800 new housing units in town, and 1,100 new jobs in town. MassDOT, supported by Amtrak and CSX owns the track, the east-west tracks, and Amtrak would be the operator of passenger rail service. MassDOT has applied for $108 million to improve the tracks between Worcester and Springfield. And I don't think I have to remind anybody in this room, unlike people in the east part of the state, that we're between Worcester and Springfield. So this is where they're going to be doing the work first on passenger rail in Massachusetts, expanding passenger rail in Massachusetts. This investment would increase train speeds and corridor capacity to enable added passenger service alongside the existing freight traffic. That's a lot of money. That's all it does. That's what it's for. It's for actually creating some sidings. It's not even full double tracking is my understanding. It's literally to make it possible for freight trains, and there's a lot of them, and we want those freight trains to continue to run here, to run alongside say 2 to 4 or more new trains between New York City and Boston and eventually Albany and Boston. So my last point, the town of Palmer needs to engage in the station study as soon as possible in order to qualify for similar funding to what I just mentioned about this track work between Worcester and Springfield. And the fact that they're going to get, probably get that grant and then move forward with track work between Worcester and Springfield is another reason why we really can't afford to wait to try to get similar money. Without the station study, there's no money. There will be no train stopping in Palmer. That's the one guaranteed thing. So on behalf of the Rail Steering Committee, I am asking Town Council to put this on the agenda for your February meeting. Thank you. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them tonight or come back with a lot more information for you in February.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Anybody else? Okay.
I'm just wondering if we could get a couple of updates on some of the projects that were proposed in town. I noticed that the rug mill, there hasn't been any work done there, and I was wondering if the company is still willing to do business in Palmer. Also, Dr. Wolf's office, that's proposed to turn into a pot shop. I know the attorney was here in July that represented the buyers, and they wanted to buy 7 additional lots in Palmer, and I'm just curious what they're proposing to put on the other lots now that they're buying or wanting to buy Dr. Wolf's office.
Mm-hmm. Ryan?
Okay. Let me see what I got here for that. So Cali Cannabis received their site plan, stormwater, and special permit approvals for the new construction of a 2,800 square foot cannabis retail building. That would be at 405, 407 Shearer Street. This is the second special permit issued by the board of the 3 allowed in Palmer. So we have 3 retail licenses. The old Al Cycle Shop is, kind of further along, I think. The board is also currently reviewing the 2 other retail cannabis projects, Green Ventures LLC, which is proposed to go into 1240 Park Street. That hearing has been continued to tonight, so that's over at the police station happening at their planning board meeting. The Green to Gold Group, which is proposed to go into 1040 Thorndike Street. I believe that's the rug mill.
1140.
I'm sorry, 1140, that's what I actually wrote here. 1140 Thorndike Street. And that has been, that planning board meeting has been continued to January 23rd.
Okay, but you can't tell us what they're proposing to put in on the other lots.
I don't know what they're proposing to put in the other lots.
Okay, when he was here in July, their attorney, he said they were wanting to put a small shop or store and then turn the other 4 lots into single-family homes. So you have nothing. You don't know.
I honestly don't know what their plans are. I have not met with them.
Okay, and my other question is, they want to turn that into highway business. Can that eventually turn into industrial, that section?
Not without another zoning change.
Right, that's
But
why
there's
I'm asking
no-
that question.
There's no industrial that touches that, is there?
Not that I know of. No.
So that would.
Be unlikely.
That would be very unlikely to happen, because that would.
Probably
I believe
be
that would
spot
spot
zoning.
Spot zoning,
Okay,
which isn't allowed.
okay, that's it, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none. Whole business. So the next 2 items are, were on the agenda in December. Unfortunately, at the December meeting, there were only 4
members.
counselors in attendance, and so that did not constitute 2/3 of the council, and so these 2 votes need to be redone. The first is to rezone the 2 parcels into highway business, which is Lawrence Street, what you were just talking about. Was there anything in the packet for Bob to read?
No.
Okay, so I know the vote last time, I believe, was 4-0.
We didn't vote on it last time.
You didn't vote?
No, we voted on the capital reserve item, which I didn't realize
Oh, but
was.
this one, okay,
but,
but this
yeah.
one, oh, this one you did not?
We did
Okay,
not vote
sorry,
on
I
it.
was not in attendance at the last meeting. I thought there was 2 votes, so, okay, perfect. So, this will be a 2/3 vote. Does someone want to make a motion to rezone the 2 parcels?
I have the letter from Mike Marciniak.
2 parcels on Lawrence Street from suburban district to highway business district. The 2 parcels are on map 7, lots 37 and 38. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll
Motion by
second.
Jessica, second by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. So the next is a revote from the last meeting. This was a resolution. Do you have the resolution number?
I've got that one, Barb.
Okay. For safety lights at Town Hall for $11,215. Bob, do you want to read the motion?
Sure. Town Council Agenda, January 9th, 2023, Resolution 2023-14, purpose to approve a transfer of $11,215 from capital stabilization for an upgrade and installation of emergency lighting outside the administrative building and the parking lot. Motion is to transfer $11,215 from Capital Stabilization Fund 8395002 to a capital project fund for an upgrade and installation of emergency lighting outside of the administration building and the parking lot.
Is that your motion, Bob?
Yes, it is.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Does anybody have any other old business? Seeing none. New business, first item is department head reports. Chrissy Florence, she's going to speak on animal control.
Told you I'd see you in a few minutes.
Yes, all right.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I'm just gonna give you a quick update on some of the stuff we've got going on with all of the animal control. So we finally got a cap for the pickup truck. It is not what we ordered, but it is a cap. So we originally ordered a double-door barn style with windows all around it. And because of COVID and manufacturing delays, all we could get was a standard cap. But a cap is better than no cap. So we finally have the cap on the truck. So it needs to go back to the company that puts the lights on for the police cruisers. So it's going to go over there. They're going to take the hunting box out of the back and put the rest of the safety lights on the vehicle so that the girls will finally have a vehicle to be able to use on a more regular basis that actually can accommodate picking up animals of various types. So we're finally there. It has a cap on it, so that's good news. Our building, the girls actually started using it for the first time on Thursday. It doesn't have any supplies in it quite yet. We do need to make a couple of big purchases for supplies and equipment, but the front of the building was completed, so the entire thing's been painted by the sheriff's department. So all new colors. The entire place was washed inside and out. They power washed the entire building. We took the foyer off of the front entrance that will eventually give way for public access and cut that down to grade, and then we put new asphalt down. There's a whole bunch of cages of various sizes outside for small dogs, big dogs. If we ever have to have a horse or a goat again, we can actually put them at the pound instead of in someone's house in their front yards. So that's a good thing. So huge improvements with that. We did have to make a big repair to the sewer line outside because unfortunately it was clogged from the prior use. We do need to still do a lot of repairs in the back of the building. So in the back, the old vet used to use the recovery rooms, but they were very tiny. And unfortunately for what we do and the amount of time that the animals stay with us sometimes, we don't have enough space back there. But the sheriff's office ran out of time to work with us, so they're going to come back to work with us again in a couple months to work on redoing that back portion. But there's a brand new retaining wall that we had done. We had a whole bunch of work done with all the DPWs, cutting down a bunch of trees and working together. So we're actually going to see about having them come back together to the building because there hasn't been a lot of that S word that we like in the wintertime, to see if they can take down some of the cages in between for us so we can temporarily still use the back spaces. And we also will have the ability to start doing cats in the new building because we now have a space for them. So one of the first animals that the girls brought into the new building was actually 10 canaries that had been abandoned on the side of a road.
Really?
Yeah, so it's funny, like, I think a lot of times people don't understand that it's not just about them running and picking up a dog and,
Right.
being the public enemy number one because we stole someone's dog, but actually the amount of time and energy that they spend into all of the animals that they catch and have to bring back to care for. So since we started using the building on Thursday night, we've had 10 canaries, 2 pit bulls, 1 small mixed breed, and 1 German Shepherd, and it's Monday. So it's a lot of work that they put into what they do. So
How old's the German Shepherd?
the German Shepherd was 2.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Is
and we
he
have a
friendly?
puppy that was dropped off, actually outside in one of the kennels that's actually with Munson Small Animal right now, just because we didn't want to keep it in the building because it could be there for a long time. So there is a pup that's about 4 months old that's over with them right now.
What kind of puppy?
It is a lab.
A lab? Oh,
Looking
those
for
are
a
friendly.
puppy?
Yeah,
I like
it's a puppy.
puppies and kitties.
Puppies are adorable. And then they grow up to be big dogs.
St. Bernard, I don't like them little.
So all the repairs, that's all covered, paid for, right?
Yes, so we're working on the expenses to that now. So we did receive a grant that was given to, originally it was 4 towns. It was Palmer, Munson, Ware, and Warren. And we used a lot of that money to purchase the building, but then to also make these repairs. And we'll also be using that money to buy the supplies that the girls will need to actually outfit the building appropriately. Once everything's done, we'd like to do a giant open house and do the same thing that we did out here in the parking lot and give rabies vaccines to the dogs for free and free dog bed giveaway. So that'll come, but it probably won't be until like late spring because we want to make sure that everything's all set before we do a big opening like that.
Do you
So-
don't foresee any additional expense coming out of like your budget or having to come back?
No, I think, so we do still have some money set aside from the truck. We do still have a good portion of money set aside from all of the towns for that building in particular. I do think we'll see, there's two expenses that still don't have a number for them. One is the fixing of that front door. So we do need to change that to make sure that it's handicap accessible. So when we graded it, actually Phil was there for that, when we paved it, we tried to make sure that it had the proper slope so that we could have the handicap parking so that eventually it would be handicap accessible. So there is an expense for that. And then there is one additional expense of just like remodeling in the back, but there should be enough money to cover those things. And then just outfitting the building appropriately. So obviously moving from what we had before to what we have now and making sure that, because you don't know if we're gonna be picking up birds, snakes, lizards, guinea pigs, chinchillas. I mean, you have to kind of prepare for all of that. So using that chunk of money that we do have to make sure that we have all the accessories we might need for any type of emergency will be perfect. So once we have all of that, I think we won't have any additional expenses. Plus, we already have a truck. If Brimfield joins us, we'll have 2 vehicles. So we'll actually have a pretty steady base for what we need.
And we meet regularly as a regional entity to discuss capital overhead and the revenue that all 3, potentially 4 towns contribute.
That was my next
As we come
question.
up into FY24, that'll be something we look at again. But we still have a significant amount of grant money to draw down. Right now, that's the bane of Sean Cronin's existence. He needs that to be zeroed out as fast as we can.
I think we're down to 42,000 in that grant.
Yeah.
And then we have the other funds available for us for that.
Yeah, but that's been many state extensions for that grant.
We're almost there. So,
Anything else?
yep, I think
Any
that's it. Any
questions?
questions?
Apparently Carl wants a puppy.
Yeah, right. I think we
Puppy.
come to that
Not
conclusion.
yet, Carl.
All right, well, thanks for coming in.
Me too, though. I'll get him and you can walk him.
Okay, no
You
problem.
guys can have a shared one.
All right. Is the German Shepherd friendly or?
battles.
You can walk mine anytime. I have 2.
Okay.
Any other new business?
I miss having a dog.
Well,
Take care.
it's on the Palmer page, and I know the school committee reached out looking for everyone who wants to participate in the superintendent search.
Oh, yeah.
To fill out their applications and send them in as soon as possible.
I also posted it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I did post it on the town
Yeah.
website today.
I know Neva was gonna be here, but she had something else to pull her aside.
Subcommittee reports. Town managers report.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, first and foremost, I want to introduce Palmer to the new executive assistant. This is Marlene Ottomaniello. She started about, 2 weeks ago?
The 13th will be a month, yeah.
A month,
2,
wow,
3
okay.
weeks, 3 weeks into
Goes
this.
by quick,
It's been going by very fast, yes.
but very happy to have you. Thank you.
Very happy to be here, thank you.
And furthermore, the town has a new veteran service officer. So Tina Broman, she lives in town. She is an Air Force veteran. Her husband is a Marine Corps veteran. She just started this week. She's been meeting with the regional representative from the Department of Veteran Services to get some technical assistance. And we'll post her new office hours very, very soon. But have a brand new veteran service officer. I get a couple of emails from time to time. Looking at you, Dave Golden. 9 French Drive. So this is on our code enforcement list. Abandoned house. It's in a collapsing state of decay. Board of Health had sent a letter, got no reply from the owners. So we're looking at an owner. Well, the owner is deceased. The property taxes will be coming up for a tax taking. This more than likely will be our next demolition. So.
I had a question about that. So when you say tax taking, meaning we're going to put it in tax title or we're just going to start foreclosing on it?
I'm probably not gonna foreclose on it because that costs a ton of money. I'm gonna sit down and talk to Linda St. Ange and a couple other people to find out what is the best course of action. I mean, we're gonna demo the place, so whatever is the cheapest, it makes the most sense. But foreclosing, costs a bunch of money and takes a bunch of time.
Right, but if our intention is to get it back on the tax rolls, that's the only way to do that.
Right. So yeah, working on it.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with that yet.
I have another address that I'll give you after that I think has been hit with some notices, but I don't know where they are in the process.
Okay, sure. Let's see. 1040 Pine Street, looking at you, Bonnie Rathbone. This house was deemed unsafe. It was posted, letter sent to the owner. It went up for sale. Then that sale fell through. It looks like there is a new sale on deck, or it actually was sold on December 8th. Those people have now pulled permits and work is underway to restore the house, which actually makes sense because it's in a really nice neighborhood. It's got to have value. Duke Track up at Palmer High School. So I believe either this fiscal year or last calendar year, we met to vote, town funds to restore the track. That's underway. We are into phase 5, which is getting the environmental permitting ready. So Ty and Bond's going to be coming before some of our land use boards pretty soon. They were out there last on December 6th to do some additional site delineations. There's that. Yes, there is. Hernevitz Park. So this year we're going to be getting underway on the playground rehabilitation and some general improvements down at Hernevitz Park. We'll be going out to bid very, very shortly, and then this summer the work will be underway to put in the new playground equipment and the site work at the park. I get a couple of requests to use the park, so feel free to continue to give me those requests, and myself and Andrew St. George will work with you on an alternate location if your thing has typically been at Hernevitz Park. Like, for example, Sober in the Park is usually in September. We're going to have to do that somewhere else. And then just really quickly on some new personnel. We have had very good luck attracting new police officers. I know in other communities it's been a challenge to be able to get folks interested in being a police officer. Here in the third decade of the 21st century, it's an incredibly hard job. But we have worked very hard and creatively, and we have Ian Curtis is a brand new full-time officer. He came from Hinsdale, so he's a lateral transfer. Didn't have to go to the police academy. Was already a cop on day one. And then Kyle Green and Scott Kopaz both graduated from the police academy on December 30th, so I want to congratulate them and welcome to the team. That's all I have, Madam President.
Any questions for Ryan?
I do.
Yep.
I'm kind of confused. I don't know if you guys are. I'm kind of lost where we are with the, probably 10 places that want to be cannabis. Like, where are those 3 licenses that we have?
So
There's a lot of places trying to open.
yeah, and it is confusing because they're sometimes not as communicative. So the last I talked to Josh Silver from Silver Therapeutics, they over the summer had equipment or material slow down. So they finally got that material in. They're finishing up their site work now. If you've driven by, they've been working on their parking lot.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I believe everything is back on schedule for Silver Therapeutics.
So do they have a permit? license, like we gave them a,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I will have to go back and remind myself. I also believe that they've completed everything with the Cannabis Control Commission. So there's two levels of
Right.
permitting. You have the town's local permitting, which is, you know, a special permit
Yep.
and a retail license and a host community agreement. And then you have all the permitting at the Cannabis Control Commission.
Right. So we have that one.
Yep.
We have the Rug Mill, right? They have one. They have a grow.
The rug mill is cultivation, which we can have unlimited numbers of cultivation.
I remember Chambers Road was one too, right?
Chamber Road has had multiple deals. So Chamber Road owners are Northeast Realty, and they have to put in a cultivation facility there. So they have a host community agreement for cultivation. They had a host community agreement for a retail spot there as well. I took it away from them due to inaction.
Ah, good. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I follow these folks and I communicate with them, and if their answers about why they haven't moved forward are logical, like supply chain or something like
sure,
that,
yeah.
I try to work with them. But if I'm pretty certain that people are just sitting there, or they've had good deals in front of them, they're the property owner and they've had an applicant like or an interested party,
Yeah.
and they just weren't able to close the deal, you're going to lose your HCA.
So are all three retail gone? Tied up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but this is hard because, so we actually have more applicants than just the three. And this has become an issue for the planning board and the building department. And right now, we went out and sought legal determination for this. And the legal determination right now is whoever's the first to get a certificate of occupancy from the building department.
Ah, okay.
So,
And
you know,
then-
let's just say if there's 5 prospective retail out there, it's going to be whoever crosses the finish line on the regulatory process first.
We wouldn't blanket open up more, right? We would do some research and understand the impacts and.
I think the last time that the planning board and myself, requested of the council to increase the licensure, the council said, and actually, I mean, it made a lot of sense to me that, you know, why do that when we don't even have one operating yet?
Right. That's my point. Okay.
I mean, you know, and the other part to this is, you know, we have however many 3 open. You know, you're starting to see the market sort of regulate and right size itself.
Yeah.
You know, Northampton had 14 of these things at one point,
Yeah.
and they're already starting to.
One just closed, was that in Northampton or
Yeah,
somewhere?
Northampton.
Yeah.
I think they got bought by one of the others, and they're sort of consolidating. So yeah, I'm still in if you just did ask me, so if the question posed to me right now, I would say that Silver Therapeutics at Al Cycle Shop is still going to be the first to open their doors.
What about the cultivation license at the old mill in Thorndike?
So Wingwell.
Yeah, I forget the names of
Yeah,
these.
Wingwell is still moving forward.
Okay.
That was a total gut rehab, like.
Yes, it's still gutted.
Yeah.
Totally gutted.
The roof's gone.
The roof's gone, the walls are gone.
Yeah,
Well-
so I will have to check in with Sasha and Eric.
Yeah,
and see
because
where they're at.
that project hasn't moved in probably 6 months. Like, there's been no activity there, so,
Yeah, let me reach out to them and get back to you.
okay. But it's good to see that we should have a new bridge and Church Street this summer.
That is still, that's still on deck. That's still on deck.
I look forward to using that bridge again.
Anybody else for questions? Okay. Anybody have miscellaneous correspondence?
Just what I mentioned.
Okay. Counselors Roundtable? Seeing none? Wasn't sure.
Today.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Nothing's changed.
Okay, so we have an executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Number 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, union public works negotiations, if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body. We will not reconvene into open session, but will adjourn immediately after the executive session. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Motion by Phil, second by Bob. This is a roll call vote. So all in favor, Carl, how do you vote?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Bob?
Aye.
Mark?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, good night.